Hey everyone, it is tea time with the diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're going to get into it. This tea time is dedicated to Diddy. Listen, I had no clue, no idea that when you're behind bars, that they run your day from morning to night. You got to get up at a certain time, make your bed by a certain time, keep your little 2 by 2 square foot cell clean. They got rules. My thing is, what if you just didn't feel like getting up at 5 o'clock one day? Can you stay in bed to 9, 10, or do you have to get special permission for that? Saying, listen, I just don't feel well today and I don't feel like getting up. That's why I'm not committing no crimes because I want to stay from behind bars. Okay. In addition to that, you have to do some type of activity. And as we all know, your phone calls are recorded. Now, there are some stupid, foolish people. They got to be dumb, stupid, or both, where they clearly tell you before you even speak, this phone call is being recorded. And a lot of them incriminate themselves even more from behind bars by calling family members or people and try to think they talking in code. Everybody think they smarter than the next person. No, I do not. I don't never underestimate my opponent. Whether I think they went to school, not to school, dropped out of school, I'm not in nobody else's head. No. So these people, they call, they talking cold, and then next thing you know, the FBI, while you behind bars, they adding more charges to your situation because you was just dumb. Now, listen, I've spoken to people from jail, prison, whatever. I got friends, I got people, I got family members that have been locked up. And when they call me, hi, I love you, keep your head up. When I can, I'll send you some money to put on your books. That's it, and that's all. I'm going to have no long conversation with you, and you trying to get me to do something or say something. Next thing I know, the FBI and the police knocking on my door and locking me up. I'll pass. So let me go ahead and share a screen with y'all. Let's get into this. Let's see what the rules for Diddy are. Inside Diddy's new life behind bars, no smoking. That's problematic because he smokes. We saw that. If you ever saw the pictures, after they raided his home and he was sitting outside on his deck and with his pool there with Star Island, he was puffing up the cigarettes. He can take some knitting classes. And like I said, be aware because all your phone calls are being recorded. So Diddy News life in prison includes strict rules, including no smoking and random drug tests. That's the part that confuses me, the random drug test. You behind bars. How do you get drugs? And if you are getting them, obviously the jail you in, they got a bigger problem than you. And their big problem is the correctional officers and everybody else, because how would these said substances get into there so that he can get them? But he can't contact his family while locked up. In Touch has learned. The mobile who has been spotted puffing away numerous times since his homes were raided by the feds earlier this year will not be allowed to purchase cigarettes at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. And like I said, that particular place is known as Hell on Wheels. The federal inmate admission and orientation book states, not they get a orientation book. You know how when you first start a job, they give you the handbook. Not you get a handbook for when you go in prison. Here's your jumpsuit, here's your flip flops, here's your socks and your underclothes, and here's the handbook. And matter of fact, read it. You got 2 days to read it, because then we're going to test you. And I'm just throwing stuff in there, y'all. Let's continue. The Federal Inmate Admission Orientation Handbook states inmate smoking is prohibited in all borough or prison facilities. The prison does not offer it does offer inmates wellness programs, which include smoking cessation and yoga. And you know what? He needs all of this. Sometimes there's a blessing in disguise. He wanted to get out. He offered everything in the kitchen sink, his home, his mama home, the kids probably with college fund. He offered everything. He gave up all the passports, and they still said no. But you know what? In addition to what am I going to say? The victims that are accusing him of all said things, even though a lot of those things are not in these charges. But in addition to all of that, this may be the thing he needed, because he should have went to rehab the minute they raided his homes. He should have been in rehab, but he wasn't. He was living his best life as if the raid never happened and that these charges wasn't coming. And his lawyer, out of his own mouth, said, "We knew the charges was coming. We was just waiting to see when." Right? So he should have been in rehab. So now you're forced into a smoking cessation program, and hopefully, maybe you'll take up some yoga. As In Touch first reported, Diddy 54 will have to wake up by 6 a.m. and must have his bed made by 7:30 a.m. That is a lot. The musician will have to mop the floor and keep his quarters tidy. All right, he used to everybody doing that for him. Well, he gonna learn today. Now he got to get that mop, that broom, and do everything for himself. He probably dying just from that alone. The handbook revealed that Diddy's prison should have taken a workstation. Diddy's prison should have a workstation that allows him to communicate with his associates. I'm guessing what they're saying is that, of course, not in your prison cell, but there has to be a common area where you can go and make said phone calls or email people in your family, and I guess even your lawyers too, right? Inmates may correspond with friends and family using public messaging. This is a restricted version of email that will only allow text messages and no attachments. There is a cost per minute fee for using this service. Messages are limited to 13,000 characters, the handbook states. Diddy can use the telephone system between from 7:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. Well, I guess that's another reason and incentive for you to get up early, because you got time periods from which you can use certain things. And then again from 12:30 to p.m. to 4 p.m. However, all of his calls are subject to recording. You better believe that they're going to record every single message and phone call that Diddy makes, okay? Because they already got him in there. They didn't let him out because they said he was witness tampering. The handbook explains telephone calls are subject to monitoring and recording by the institutional staff. Inmates are limited to 300 minutes per month and may be used for any combination of collect or direct calls. Ordinarily, inmates will be allowed an extra 100 minutes per month in November and December. So I guess as their Thanksgiving and Christmas gift, they get an extra 100 minutes per month. And so a total of 400 minutes during the months of November, December. Now, 300 minutes per month, that's not a lot. You figure there's 60 minutes. I'll do a little calculation later. I'm trying to see if I got a calculator here. I'm trying to see like what does that amount to like per day, if you break out 300 minutes per month. Wait a minute, I'll do it real quick. Let me get a calculator up here. So if I do 300, I'm gonna just do an average of 30 days divided by 30. Oh, that's like 10 minutes a day. If you do per day, that's not a lot. Well, that this is the life he chose. When you do the crime, you got to do the time. So about 10 minutes per day if you break it down per day. So he has to be strategic and smart about how he utilizes minutes when you only get in 300 minutes per month. I would die as much as like I don't even have a ton of friends, but the friends I do have, we could use 300 minutes in one day easy, let alone a month. Forget about it. Telephone privileges are supplemental means of maintaining community and family ties. Telephones are to be used for lawful purposes only. Threats, extortion may result in prosecution. All inmate telephone calls are subject to monitoring and recording. Inmates must contact their unit team to arrange an unmonitored attorney call, the handbook adds. Oh, that's interesting. Unmonitored attorney call, because what you say to your attorney is supposed to be between you and your attorney only. But I'm willing to put 10 toes down that even when they have this unmonitored call with the attorney, that is monitored. That's just my guess. So Diddy will have access to a television and can participate in arts and craft programs, the handbook states. Artwork includes all painting and sketches rendered in any of the usual media: paints, pastels, crayons, pencils, ink, hobbycraft activities, crochet, and knitting. Use of hobbycraft facilities is a privilege that the warden or staff delegated that authority may grant or deny. Inmates are encouraged to participate in housing unit activities such as unit-based hobby. Who is this is in this picture? I'm wondering who this is. And the reason why I'm wondering that is because, there's a lot of references to people in this indictment, but they don't name the person. They just go bodyguard or high ranking supervisor. I'm trying to break down based upon his entourage over the last 10 to 15 to 20 years, who could some of these bodyguards and high ranking people can be, right? I can guess some of them, but I'm just wondering who all of them actually are. As In Touch previously reported, Diddy was arrested on Monday, September 16th on charges of trafficking and racketeering. He pleaded not guilty to the charges. Diddy proposed a $50 million bond package that included putting his Miami mansion up as collateral. Listen, I got to dig a little more deeper. I've been I'm doing some, dives into this situation, but it was my understanding when he proposed this $50 million bond, he also said that he would subject himself to either random drug testing or being drug tested every week. This man, and I think I stated this before on other videos, he had substances in his hotel room in New York, and he knew he was turning himself in. So there's no way in the face of this earth he would have ever passed a drug test every week. Prosecutors argued that the reported billionaire is a serious flight risk and needed to be kept behind bars until trial. Diddy was denied twice in his attempt to be released on bond. The entertainer's lawyer said Diddy was placed on S watch, but he said his client was not, thinking about harming himself. He said it was a routine measure by prison officials. Diddy's attorney said he met with his client at the facility and noted he was strong, healthy, confident, and focused on his defense. Following his arrest, the entertainer's attorney, Mark, said, "We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon," he said this, "self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire." Yes, sir. They said he was building a enterprise, and you call it empire. The feds are calling it enterprise, and that's why your client is behind bars now. Adoring his children and working to uplift the Black community, he is an imperfect person, but he is not a criminal. He added to his credit, Mr. Cohn has been nothing but cooperative with the investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Now, I will say this. Listen, let due process happen in this case, right? But I will say this, to their credit, even when you see the footage, to his lawyer's credit and Diddy's credit, even when you see the footage of them picking up Diddy, it was uneventful, so to speak, right? It was very uneventful. So it kind of debunks the one thing of him it debunked the one thing of him being a flight risk, so to speak, because he was just walking around New York City like nothing's up, like not going nowhere. Here I am, pick me up. So he said, "Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts. These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court." I don't know. Innocent, depending upon what charge you're talking about, I guess. I don't know. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on these prison rules. Listen, if you ever been to jail, no shame, no foul, right? Let me know. When you were locked up, did you have these strict rules, and did eventually you just adjust? And also let me know if you just not feeling it one day or 2 days or a whole week, can you just chill in your cell, stay in your bed, not make your bed, not go to no activity, no knitting, no whatever, and just do what you want to do? Just chill and maybe read a book or read a magazine. Are you allowed to do said thing? Let me know your thoughts. Or is it a necessity? You got to get up. You got to do this. Lunchtime is this. Breakfast is this time. Lunch is this time. Dinner is this time. And if you don't make it to all of the above, then you just don't eat that day, and it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next video.